have been heightened. The contradiction going forward is that while scientific observations may indicate that electromagnetic activity is beginning to stabilize or that we are past the peak of this energetic solar surge, some are noticing that what are often referred to as ascension symptoms are now appearing to be intensifying rather than easing. Over approximately the last 92 hours, the four bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and energetic, have been operating at an unusually elevated level of clearance and realignment, and as a result, the primary aspects of consciousness now require time to restructure. During this process, certain elements may temporarily feel out of phase, creating short-term imbalances as they now begin to restructure. An analogy may be helpful here. Consider a visit to an orthodontist for dental alignment. When braces are first applied, discomfort is not always immediate. Instead, discomfort arises after the teeth begin to respond and realign, moving from being out of phase back into alignment once the apparatus has been applied to the teeth. This delayed response is often felt as discomfort or pressure, or even pain hours or days from leaving the surgery or tooth specialist. Similarly, in the days following this recent energetic event, some individuals may experience a slight increase in discomfort before improvement occurs. It is important to remain calm, knowing that this process is temporary, that you are safe, and that this is very much to be expected. For those who are noticing flashes of color in their peripheral vision, it is indicating that the physical eyes have adjusted to perceive a broader or altered spectrum. Similarly, eating and sleeping habits will take a few days to find their normal rhythm again after, for some, what will be varying degrees of disruption, varying from having to sleep all day or not being able to sleep or eat at all in recent hours and days. Again, the solar storm will be lessening within this science, but the residual effects felt thereafter may worsen for a few days now as consciousness does whatever it needs to now realign itself into a new upgrade. This is to be expected after an energy alignment of this kind of unusual nature. Best of luck. Hugs. Alexander Quinn. Alexander Quinn, 3 days ago. Energy update/forecast. It's not an easy start to the year, but don't fear. There are a few major portals we must walk through. What are they, and why is it March is the beginning for the new year energetically? 1. We are starting a new 9-year cycle. Big resets and needed expansion. This must be done to lay foundations for the next 9 years. 2. The new moon, starting today. It carries the energy of the womb, the seed stage. This is not always a time for action. Nothing should be forced here, and yesterday we had a big energy wave hit us in the last 24 hours, pushing that integration through. 3. 17th Feb, the annular solar eclipse, or ring of fire, arrives, followed on 3rd of March with the total lunar eclipse, or blood moon, creating what I call an eclipse sandwich, or better put, an energy that is forming a paired initiation corridor. In other words, this is what I choose to create is now pushed into reality, dropping everything that will constrict this direction energetically. Then the March equinox, spring equinox, Friday, 20 March. Not darkness winning, not light dominating, but perfect equilibrium. March then anchors the balance so that it is established thereafter. You're starting to set cruise control now, things feeling more comfortable. Then, on the 26th of July, the day out of time, and galactic new year, a cosmic reset. And so above as below, light has anchored in physical reality full without delay. When you take all of this into account, you're looking at an energy that isn't really starting the new year in linear time in January, but instead beginning in March, and then being felt as lived experience sometime around July in the physical world, or what lightworkers call their reality, or that perception or what consciousness can see as something that is real because there is a delay in manifestation before it is brought into physicality. So, going forward, lightworkers really have until March to feel into, not think, because you will be in your head, but to feel beyond logical and rational limitation where the soul truly wants to go and to release fear. That's roughly 4 months from now to allow the subtle changes to initiate. For example, I just have this feeling I need to work with cows in a field. But then the ego kicks in. Yes, but that doesn't make money. You won't survive doing that. And so where Source says push past that fear, it will be more expansive than your fear knows. You will be held and carried, children of the light. Fear not. Another example, I've been doing XYZ and my ego wants to survive, even though every essence of my body and soul wants to be in service or do more special work. Then the ego says, but you fear rejection from your audience, your family, and your friends if you really go down this path. So the ego says, stay small, stay safe, whilst Source is guiding past rational thought where limitation is. And so you have time, lightworkers, until about March to plant seeds and allow the year to anchor, because by July 26th, we cross the very first junction of the 9-year cycle, and you want to be on track by then, pushing beyond that silly old friend fear, which always says, no, stay small, this won't work, it doesn't make money, your family won't agree, and all the other excuses it creates so it doesn't have to confront itself. I know this is a tough start for many of you. I see it in my private practice with clients. I see it in the energies. Some of you will of course be flying. However, my contact at the soul level is concerned about those who need the help first. There is no way this can't be a huge climb for the next 4 months for just some of the reasons I've shared, and there are many more energetic factors at play. There is only this year and then 4 years left until 2030, during which the biggest changes need to occur on the timeline of an ascending planet. It doesn't come any bigger than that. For that reason, so many of you are feeling tired. OMG, Alexander, I came into this year feeling wiped out from last year. It's integration overload, it really is, and it's not easy. Right now, so many lightworkers are feeling like, I can't be bothered to read another post. What, another video? I've had enough. And not feeling would and needs to be correct if you're feeling it, because the energy is pushing internal recalibration, creating a shedding effect like a snake choosing to exit its old skin, but not without some pain and discomfort. The biggest advice for the first 4 months is simple. Your soul knows why everything is happening at all times. The ego only knows what is happening. Stay in non-resistance and surrender for these first 4 months. It's going to feel a little bumpy until then. A few ups and downs until the captain turns off the seatbelt light sometime around the end of March. As ever, I'll be here with you, posting, channeling, making videos, doing everything I can to help as best I can. With compassion, without judgment, and with strength. You got this. You can do this. You are made for this. Integrate your shadow so that light can shine. More soon. Hugs. Alexander Quinn.